What up, big dogs? Welcome back to another episode of the Screen Surgery Podcast. I'm Quinn Moore, your host. You may know me as Brett Vog or Vag from Leap Year, the fucking movie star. But I'm here to answer the question that a lot of society has been looking to me to answer. Is Michael Jackson a pedophile? With the release of the new Michael Jackson movie, I feel like this is a super good time to talk about it, you know? And I'm going to preference this by saying, hear me out. All I'm saying is that Michael Jackson didn't become a pedophile until he turned white. It wasn't black Michael Jackson who built a theme park for kids in his backyard. That was white Michael Jackson, okay? Stereotypes do exist for a reason. And with that being said, it would check out that he is a pedophile. Because I think that like white people make up like 90% of the population, but 95% of pedophiles are white. So based on that statistic alone, like, you know, it's not looking good for him. And not only that, but like the weird shit he would do. I mean, I got in a fight with my girlfriend over, not a fight, but an argument. Not over whether he's a pedophile or not, but because I told her that she's a fucking idiot. No, I'm kidding. No, we got in an argument because she said that Michael Jackson was just a nice guy, and I was like, listen, I think you have the survival instincts of a fish stick. And that's why she got mad at me, because I said that to her. But fish sticks get eaten, okay? And they have no chance of survival in the wild because they serve to be eaten. So that's my point in saying the fish stick thing. But like, listen, a grown-ass man sharing his bed with a child, letting a child in his bedroom that's not his own, or like a close family member, even then, in 2026, like, that's screaming pedophile, you know what I mean? Like, listen, where there's smoke, there's fire. And then I saw a video like an hour ago that made me want to make the video about this topic, because he was like talking about sharing his, once again, this guy was fucking talking about sharing his bed with kids. Like, I don't know anybody who's not a pedophile that talks about sharing a bed with children as much as Michael Jackson, if you think he's not a pedophile. And at the end of the video, Blood's sitting there holding hands, caressing hands with a 12-year-old. That is not his child. And I'm like, come on. Like, that's a fucking pedo if I've ever seen one. Because, I mean, this is all allegedly. But like, that's just insane that he's sitting there holding hands with a child going like this. That's not his own. And you talk about like calling the kid up late at night. Like, it's just, anyone who says he's not a pedophile and he's just a nice guy. Come on, guys. Would you let your kid stay in Michael Jackson's bed? No, the fuck you wouldn't. Come on, get real. The guy was like, there's just no way. And I see the videos, and like, I'm sure he was a nice guy to people. Like, I'm sure he wasn't, and I think he was really fucked up. And I think that as a result, he molested children. That doesn't make it okay. That's not like an excuse, because every child molester is obviously fucked up. But I'm saying, like, I don't think he was doing it out of a place of like he's trying to hurt the kid. I think he just, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that he did hurt the kid. Sick and wrong, but like, I think he's just a fucking weirdo. I don't know what other way to put it. And I don't think he has normal understandings of humans and whatnot. He was definitely attracted to children and molested them based on what I've seen and allegedly, right? Because no grown man's building a theme park in his backyard. I mean, the last guy who did that, fucking Jeffrey Epstein, all right? Epstein Island. So, and that didn't end well. He had roller coasters there, believe it or not. They don't publicize that, but he had roller coasters and he had all sorts of amusements for children on his island. I just can't believe the people that are like so like they just refuse to believe that he did not do the things that he did. But if it was anybody else, it would be without question that he's a fucking weirdo. And it sucks because it definitely tarnishes his legacy. But like, I could separate the art from the artist and be like, listen, Michael Jackson is definitely a pedophile in my opinion, but also he made some good music. Okay? He made some really good music. Does him being a pedophile take away from the good music? Of course not. Of course not. Just like, but then with that being said, if you were really, if you made music but you were a pedophile. Does being a pedophile make you good at making music? I don't think so. But I think in his case, he just happened to be both of these things. People can be two things, you know? Nah, all jokes aside, though, it's like, I don't get how people, like, are so obtuse. It's like someone could represent themselves as, like, a good person and be, like, people are not just one thing. Like, they could have different sides to them, you know? And, like, he could be a good musician, but also be a pedophile. Just saying. And Neverland, the documentary Neverland said that shit too. And then like, just because a bunch of celebrity kids or other people come out and say, "Oh, he didn't do that," that doesn't mean that he didn't do it to other people. Obviously, he's not gonna fucking molest Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. He would fuck him up so quick. Do you see what Macaulay Culkin did in Home Alone? Michael Jackson wouldn't stand a chance. Okay, so not an easy target, but the other kid who doesn't fucking have rich parents and isn't rich and doesn't have a voice, like, he's gonna molest that kid instead, you know? Because that's just how child molesters operate, as we've seen time and time again. They will pick on prey that's easy and poor people and whatnot, and that's clearly what he did. Like it was predatory behavior bringing kids into your house. Like, I mean, I would call that being a child predator, but like because he's famous and he made good music, there's a certain segment of people that refuse to believe that, which is fucking crazy and beyond me. Now, like the Kevin Spacey thing, though, that was a situation where like that guy, I mean, he wasn't being accused of being a pedophile, but like honestly, the whole documentary was just dudes talking about how if they thought if they got with Kevin Spacey, they would have a career, and I'm like, listen, that's a you thing. You fucking pimped yourself out with the expectation that because he's successful, you're entitled to it if you do gay things with him, and that's on you. That's not Kevin Spacey's fault. Players are gonna play, okay? I don't think that apparently he like would like, you know, slap some dude's ass and did some weird, you know, borderline sexual assault stuff, and that's all fucked up and whatever, but it's not like it's different than what he's being accused of doing, you know. So yeah, I remember watching the documentary and like the whole thing was just these dudes and it went nowhere. These guys who were just like, "Oh yeah, I thought that if I sucked Kevin Spacey's dick, I'd have a career," and like that's not how it went. That's not how it wasn't even like Harvey Weinstein, where he was at least saying like, "Oh, I'll give you a career if you do this." Kevin Spacey, these guys just came to that assumption themselves, you know. Harvey Weinstein, that guy is a fucking sick piece of shit rapist. He's different, and maybe Kevin Spacey's that too. I don't really know, but based on the documentary, I just felt like he didn't really. What he's being accused of is not really fair, because, and I'm not saying he's not that. I don't really know, but based on what I saw, like, you know, I mean, I guess what I'm doing here is I'm setting up a ranking system for pedophiles. So we got shit. Okay, fuck. All right, we got Epstein, Weinstein, pedophile slash rapist. This is gonna be my pedophile slash rapist like chart list. I guess at the top of it you have Epstein, because he did a whole ring of people, and Epstein and any acquaintances of his, which is like the entire U.S. government. So Epstein slash President Donald Trump slash all of the other people on the list, all the sick fucks that were frequenters to that island. Then below that ran a human trafficking ring allegedly. Then below that you would have Weinstein, like a sick guy, but he does it for his own pleasure. It's not like some business CIA operation type shit. This is tricky because like, do they all? Can you really rank? Can you really rank pedophiles based on the disgusting shit that they did? I don't know. They might just all be fucking sick and disgusting. Huh. I never really thought of it like this. God damn. That's really deep. It's really deep shit. Let Let me look up some more of the allegations against Michael Jackson. There's more people suing him. By the way, you can't find the documentary Leaving Neverland. It's not like available anywhere to watch, which, like, I guess that's because it's all alleged and he wasn't found guilty and he paid these people off. But look, guilty, I don't know why he would pay off people if he was innocent. Like, there's smoke, there's fire. And then the fact that whole documentary you can't find anymore says a lot of it. But talking about the movie, I thought the movie was really good, except obviously it's like a small part of his story that is not completely true to everything. But with that being said, like, are they obligated to show the worst side of him and the worst side of his career in his movie? I guess they probably should have touched upon it because it is very, like, important. The movie, though, was, like, it was a really well-told story. They picked really good spots. The music was great. Great acting, great. It was a great movie. Like, it was near perfect biopic for what they were going for. Like, some musical biopics completely missed the mark, but this one didn't. It was really good. Like, I didn't like the Bruce Springsteen biopic, and I didn't like the Bob Marley biopic. I thought that those just were probably some of the worst biopics I've seen. Just because they just weren't good for whatever reason. But, like, Bohemian Rhapsody was great. Elton John was great. The Michael was good. Was great, actually. And then the Bob Dylan was okay. And what was the other one that I saw? I think there was, like, one more, but it was one of the better musical biopics I've seen. And it, like, because it wasn't boring, it was really exciting the entire time. With the cars, the monkey that he had, the pet monkey, the dad being abusive to him, that was really fun. No, listen, hear me out. I kind of felt a little bad for the dad because the way that they portrayed him, it was almost like he was an asshole. I get it, and he was a dickhead, but like, I do feel like they probably should have made him worse in order for me to feel like he deserved to be kicked out of something that he built, right? Because that's probably how it went in real life. He was probably worse and, like, deserved to not be included in what he built. Because, like, when Michael fired him as manager, it's like the dad did help build them up and get to them. That's that point, managing them. But also, on the same hand, like, Michael Jackson would be entitled to have his own career and to do the things that he wanted to do independent of his family. It's like he doesn't own him because he brought him up. He didn't have much of a choice, and he's entitled to be his own person. But I do feel like maybe they should have made his dad more abusive, because then I would have been like, cool. I would have been like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. But, like, family dynamics are complicated, and there's so much going on there. Also, like, I feel like that would have been, the whole movie would have been about how Michael Jackson was abused by his dad, and that probably wouldn't, like, that could be its own movie, I feel like. But that was my only kind of thought, was leaving it, was that he maybe based on what they showed in the movie, like I didn't hate the dad. I mean, I thought he was an asshole, of course, but I was like, I don't think he's evil. In real life, I think he probably is really bad, but they didn't show it like that in the movie. Maybe I'm just a dickhead. Maybe I'm crazy. It's really, really weird to have these one-person conversations, but hey. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. Yeah, right, guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Those are, like, my thoughts on Michael Jackson and /pedophile /rapists that are famous, I guess. And, yeah, fuck yeah, dogs. Fuck yeah.